What's up, you guys? Trey here.
Josh.
And we're doing something a little bit different this week. This week's episode is... Sorry. It was coming up and I just couldn't stop it.
Don't suppress your feelings.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Trey here.
Josh.
I just figured we'd start it over since I burped in the last take.
It's us. It's perfect.
Yeah, I guess I could keep it. Anyways, we're doing something a little bit differently this week. This week's episode is 3 hours long, which is double the length of our normal episode time. So we went ahead and just broke it up into 2 parts to help make it a little more digestible.
Yeah, I mean, you ever ate Thanksgiving dinner and you're just so full you have to take a little nappy poo? We don't want you guys falling asleep on us, so we broke it up, in 2 parts to keep that metabolism up.
Yeah. Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, here is us and Vincent Baker and his lovely fiancée, Abby.
Introduce you. He'll be able to edify you better than I will.
That's
so.
Fair.
All right.
You mean to tell me you haven't known me for 15 years?
I tried. I did my research before you came.
Make sure your levels are good.
My level's over 9,000.
9,000!
And this is Curtis. Have you introduced Curtis?
No, I didn't introduce Curtis. So Curtis is our gumball machine.
Oh, well, yesterday on the interview I did, I had to talk to a kobold. So his name was Toast. So
Toast
Curtis, I'm happy to meet you too. I've been meeting all sorts of
wacky characters.
Yeah, amazing.
So the purpose of Curtis, and we're probably not going to do it today unless you just want to. It's a challenge gumball machine. So like the red balls you see in there is like a challenge. So one of them is, I don't even know.
The epilator?
What did we do with the epilator? You had it over here. He can be. Like we have to stand on the acupuncture for 2 minutes while talking. Like it feels weird on your feet. Different things like that. But then like the yellow balls are questions, like random questions in there. Like, oh, what's your, I don't know, weird, like would you rathers or just whatever. And then like the blues are get out of jail free. Like it might be a smiley face or like, yeah. And there's, as you see, there's like 4 blue balls in there. So there's not a lot of those.
So the acupuncture thing, I don't know much about that. Like,
so you want to grab it and just let him like push his finger into it?
It feels weird, but it's not like I'm stepping on like a spike bed.
Oh no, it's spiked. It's acupuncture.
Exactly
yeah. It's uncomfortable at first, and then.
Okay, I mean it's spiked, but it's not like.
Oh no, it's not needles.
It's not like
no. It's like standing on spikes.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. It's like it'd be like stepping on like very coarse concrete.
It's weird because like it kind of hurts at first and it's uncomfortable, and then it kind of feels good because it gets the blood flowing to your feet or where, like if you lay down on it, it gets the blood flowing wherever. Like,
did you guys custom make that? I guess
it came from iHeart. They were gonna throw it away. They were like, we're done with this. Like we were cleaning out one of the closets, and Josh was like, wait, are you getting rid of this? No, yeah, he's like, you're gonna throw it away though? Yeah, we're done with it. He goes, can I have it?
Can I have it?
Yeah,
like,
nice catch.
Yeah, really.
So he took it home with him.
No.
Yeah.
Well, and this was before they were iHeart. They were
Clear Channel.
Clear Channel. So his full name is Curtis Clear Channel.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So we decided. I don't know. It was during our first episode. We didn't even have him. Like we had him in the background. We're like, oh, this would be a cool prop. And we're like, oh, what do we do with him? Well, what if we threw challenges in him? And then the only downside.
How'd you get a gumball to say step on the acupuncture thing?
We just wrote it down on little pieces of paper.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And they actually don't fit through the.
Yeah, that's the only downside. So we have to reach into the top. But like, if you swish around, you grab one.
Oh, it's not like a chewy gumball. Okay.
That'd be expensive.
I thought you had chewy gumballs that had like written on it.
Yeah,
I was like, how did you do?
I think we looked into that.
Like we did. We looked into it. Like we could put our logo on it. I don't know if we could actually put like custom text. Like I don't know how much that would cost. But then you have to buy them in bulk. It's like you have to buy like 2,500 gumballs at a time. You can't just buy like
My phone is missing. I don't know. I mean, I was texting you on the way here.
Yeah.
So
Did you leave it in the car?
I could have left it in the car.
I guess it's in my car.
Okay. Well, I can't text with my nose in the phone, I guess. Okay.
That's not it.
Oh wait, no, I put it here. That's why. I put it here because I was gonna say that I might refer. I have some bullet points of like maybe things I want to make sure I bring up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, anything that you want to hit.
Yeah.
Make sure you can kind of drive us in that direction. Be like, hey, by the way, or if something triggers, like if I'm like, oh, other worlds, and you're like, oh, by the way. This, then be sure you can interrupt me, cut me off, whatever.
Let's go ahead and kick this off.
All right.
I feel like we've already had some good dialogue, and I don't want it to not be recorded.
All right, you ready?
There was no catchy segue, but
I think you can.
It looks like the one I use. Like,
it's Stream Elements. You just integrates right with OBS.
You're more into. I don't stream. That's his territory.
It's tough because I think there's like multiple OBSs.
It could be versions,
So there's like
there's
just open broadcasting software. So there's like a Stream Elements one. There's a bunch of other ones, but the one I currently use looks like that.
And I don't think this one's up to date either.
Right.
Probably help.
I prefer the original OBS versus Stream Elements OBS and all that,
Really?
but either way, salutations, good people. Welcome to the CS Podcast, where we create stuff, or if you're Trey,
create shit.
And today we have our hands absolutely full with 2 guests and our first ever female guest on the show as well.
Well, yeah, I guess it is, isn't it?
It sure is.
Yeah.
And first time with 2 guests.
It is the first time with 2 guests.
With 2.
Knocking out first time too.
Right.
So we have with us Vincent Baker, game designer, artist, writer, entrepreneur. Just keep ticking off the boxes here. And then with him, the lovely Abby.
Hello.
And Abby does art. What is it? So I'm more familiar with Vincent because I've grown up with him, obviously.
That makes sense.
So what is it mostly that in your wheelhouse?
What have you done? Like, earn your spot here beside me.
I'm an artist, an editor, like a secretary.
Yeah.
Secretary works. That works.
Yeah, no, very, very true. Like, she helps a lot on the back end with the business stuff, like
Paperwork.
I'm looking at things. I'm like, this is giving me a headache. And Abby's like, I'll take care of it. Don't worry. And I'm like, thank you. You're an angel. So not only does she do that, but she's done all the artwork for Guillotine, 100% illustrated.
That's right.
by her. We went in just like co-op style. And made this card game together, which recently got published and released. So we have Guillotine out. It's a Halloween card game. Check it out. But we also, she does a lot of editing before we publish content. If you see anything that's grammatically incorrect, that's entirely my fault, not hers. That either means one of 2 things. It either means that I just did not have her edit it because it's not like a published product, or it might be something that I just threw up randomly.
Yeah.
Or B, it's she went and edited everything perfectly, and then I added something or changed something, and then forgot to tell her to look back over it, and then so it's my fault. So it's not. I feel bad because if there is an error with the grammar, then like it will reflect bad or poorly on her because she's our editor, but it's definitely more on my behalf. With that being said, I haven't noticed a problem. I'm just throwing this out there.
I was going to say, I haven't in the games that I've played and looked over the rule books and stuff. I haven't noticed any. So you're doing great.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you can't catch them all, so
Yeah, this ain't Pokemon.
Yeah,
I was. Yeah.
And it's tough these days too, even with Pokemon. I mean, you can't catch them all anymore.
Dude, I heard about
they're
that.
all gone, and like Target's getting rid of selling cards, and
Somebody got a gun pulled on him at Target.
yeah. So I haven't looked.
Yeah.
So I haven't looked into the full story. When I
haven't either,
When I
but-
first read it, the headline was, man pulls gun out, over Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
I was like, that's insane. Now the story still is insane, but I heard someone else say this, and I don't know if this is true because I haven't looked into it. But
Yeah.
they said that this man was jumped for his Pokemon cards. He was jumped by like 4 people.
Oh.
He pulled out a gun to defend himself, and then they backed away. So still crazy.
I was gonna say, still crazy that he got jumped.
Yeah, still crazy. Still crazy.
I heard something about that too. They called themselves the Squirtle Squad. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Squirtle.
Oh man, that's rough. But yeah, we sell Pokemon cards at our store, and it's been crazy. We get asked about it every single hour.
Do you have to limit like Target? Because I know at one point Target was like you could only buy 1 pack per customer.
Yeah. So my store doesn't have an official policy on limiting.
Yeah.
But every single person that's bought Pokemon, I told them, I was like, hey, because I actually know I've been in the store for like almost 6 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's been a while.
I know like every customer that comes in at this point, and I'm just, especially the ones that are into Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hey, like maybe you should leave some for people. And they're like, you know what, you're right. Like literally that happened. Like
that's wild.
Like there are people that like scooped up all of our Pokemon products, and I was like, would you mind like maybe just getting like 1 or 2 things? And they're like, you know what, I respect you, and they just got 1 or 2 things. So
Nice.
I felt good about it, but we haven't had Pokemon cards since then. But the next time we get them in, I'm going to talk to my boss about having an official limit.
Yeah.
And at first, I didn't understand the idea of limiting, especially like when it comes to like cards or something that's not like necessary, because it's like, well, just let people buy what they want to buy, and if they get it, they get it. But I see the other perspective too, because there's a lot of kids, like there's a lot of people who are buying these cards that don't actually enjoy Pokemon.
They're just buying them to resell them. They're scalping them.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people too that are scalping that don't even understand Pokemon. It's not even like it's even, there's so many layers to it.
Yeah.
But there's like, you have people who are scalping who are actually genuinely interested in Pokemon and know what they're doing and love Pokemon, and that's like a different shade than people who don't know anything about Pokemon. They hate on people who they're like, oh, Pokemon's stupid, and then they're trying to scalp.
But it makes money. Like,
yeah, but it makes money. So I feel like that's a little bit worse. I'm still not a fan of scalping either way, but like at least if you're trying to make it like a hobby and you're like collecting cards and you keep some of it for yourself, like that's a little bit more like, okay, you're trying to make it into like a, you know, kind of like your own little local game store on eBay or something like that. That's more okay than just some guy that's just buying them and doesn't know anything about them.
Well, it's wild because I've seen a number of, just here recently in the past couple of months, like Pokemon cards on my marketplace. Like I don't even look for Pokemon cards, but I look and it's like every time I turn around, Pokemon cards are being sold, and I'm like, well, there's all your cards. Like,
maybe I've been having people come to me asking for like Pokemon card prices because they know I'm a card player, but the Pokemon card market is like tough because I feel like some people are listing prices for like $300 for a card. Someone else will sell it for $30, or like maybe he sold it a year ago for $30. So it's like, well, what is it worth now?
Because they don't know the price or the value.
It's tough.
Maybe a customer should have to pass like 3 rounds of trivia.
Yeah.
Like if you're just a scalper, then you're not getting away with that.
in a game of Pokemon. He pulls out a deck. He goes what
backwards.
Good like luck. Ash Ketchum. He goes, what type are you using? You want grass, fire? Like lets them choose.
I do the Gary thing where I always pick their weakness. It's like I'm a benevolent Pokemon master. I'll let you choose first. And I'll go with fire. And it's like, cool, I'll take water.
No. Or to really add insult to injury, they're like, I'll go with fire. You're like grass, and you still beat them. You had the type disadvantage.
It reminds me in high school, I had some friends that wanted to play some Pokemon. I hadn't played in a while. Okay, cool. And I made a psychic deck. Went to school.
Nice.
Whooped them.
I believe it.
And, I mean, actually, you know this person in particular. Her name's Elizabeth. She worked at Staples.
Oh,
that's her. I played her.
And I didn't know she was in that. That's cool.
Yeah, I destroyed her. But she just went home, and then she's like, okay, I want to challenge you again. And I was like, fine, sure. She comes back, and she built a deck entirely resistant to psychic. And then she beat me. So,
nice. Yeah. See, that's how you do it.
Yeah, that's how you do it. So, Elizabeth, you got me. In the end, you got me.
So speaking of games, talking about Pokemon, how about we transition into the games that you create and the reason that we have you here. So you are part of, or you have created, Vindicated Entertainment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Vindicated Entertainment started off in some weird nebulous way where there wasn't like a clear starting line.
Yeah.
I think technically it started 2012, but it wasn't really a business until I think it was officially a business 2016.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really do anything with it though, on a professional level until 2017.
Okay.
So it's always weird when someone's like, well, when did Vindicated start? And it's like, I don't know what to tell you.
Now, was it 2016 or 2017 that you started doing the convention circuit?
It's 2017. It was November 2017.
Okay.
And it's when we actually...
That's right. I wasn't sure if that was Vindicated's official first, or if you had done some prior to that before I...
I did one prior to that, but we had no games, so I don't count it. It was I was trying to sell a little bit of art, and that was it. And it didn't go well, because it was I barely had anything, and I didn't know what I was doing.
I was a big fan of Greenville, wasn't it? Or was it?
Was the first official one?
Was the first official one? Okay, I'm trying to think. I was like, the one that we went to.
That was when we had Spellslingers come in.
Gotcha.
And we had to show off Spellslingers and Other Worlds to people.
Nice.
And we had a ton of fun. And also that was the one where they gave us 2 booths.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
So we had one in an awkward location, and we're like, hey, can we get someone to fix this or whatever? And he's like, we'll just give you another booth in the actual room with all the other booths. But we had one booth that was outside of the bathrooms.
Yeah, it was.
Outside of everything else. So then we had to split our party. We'd have me and Ajax over here, and then me I
think it was me and Caleb
over there. But then you guys would swap or something. It was fun, but I count that as the first official convention for Vindicated.
That was a blast.
Oh yeah,
that was a good. Do they still do Big Fandom Greenville?
They haven't. It was hard for them to make. I think they invested a lot of time and energy.
Gotcha.
And I don't think it was a failure, but the owner has a family and he has a full-time job and all this stuff going on. So
I get it.
It was just He probably could do another one, but it's just kind of like weighing the pros and cons.
Yeah.
I think he might do something though in the future.
Okay.
He did a Halloween party like the next year. I think was it the same year or was it the next year? That Halloween party we went to.
I think it was the same year because Ajax dressed up as a pirate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the same year.
Was that the same? Because I knew that we had like the Into the Black Tides thing going on.
I think that's why he dressed up as a pirate. I think.
Okay,
I don't know. He may remember better than I do because I don't think I went to the Halloween. I didn't go.
I don't
but
think you were there but he said that actually did better for him than the convention.
that's odd.
Yeah, and it was fun, but I don't think he's done that again either. But
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
They had strawberry Kit Kats, just like a
Ooh.
bowl full of strawberry Kit Kats. And I
Ooh,
was
that
like,
sounds good.
someone's gonna be making fun of me because I'm gonna keep reaching into this. But like,
You just start stuffing your
yeah,
pockets.
I just was like, this is my once in a lifetime opportunity because I haven't seen strawberry Kit Kats ever since. So I was right.
Yeah, could be a Japanese thing. I know they always have weird flavors. They have like a green tea, like Kit Kat.
So
What?
It's so good.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're like look like a mint green. Like
Okay.
I don't know, I've never had them, but
They also have sake Kit Kats.
Oh,
interesting.
I don't know.
Ugh.
I don't know
Interesting.
how to describe how those taste.
Yeah,
It's kind of weird.
yeah. It doesn't sound very good. I'll pass on that one.
But yeah, that's when Vindicated started. Otherworlds was the first game that was released. It was tabletop RPG. Trey here actually made the first character for Otherworlds, like officially.
Yeah, officially.
Your character Itavavik, who is a Phalanx sniper.
Or if you're me, mispronouncing it since the dawn of time, I always called it Phalanx, and he never corrected me. You're just like, we're just gonna go with it.
Yeah, I don't know why I
Nice.
didn't say it. I mean, I actually created like a sub race of them called Phalanx, just in honor of you saying it that way. So,
Created a sub race.
yeah,
Nice.
So it works out. I mean, I just assumed that you were making a very decisive choice because it's very obvious. It's like Fel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, hold on. Feeling.
Yeah, that's right. INX.
Yeah, Linx instead of I don't know.
And I did LNIX. Like my dyslexia kicked in, and that's how I read it, and so I never studied it to really look at it. It may have been you may have pronounced it one day, or I may have actually been looking at the rule book, and I was like, "Is this? Am I wrong?"
Is my whole life a lie? But hopefully that's okay. So Otherworlds is a tabletop role-playing game. It's a ton of fun, but I'm biased. It's basically
I was gonna say I'd agree too.
It looks fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You get to make some weird, crazy characters. It's like a mixture of like silliness and like dark humor, and some science and fantasy elements. So it's kind of like a weird mishmash of like Final Fantasy and Borderlands inspired stuff. That seems to be the two easiest things to relate it to in terms of its tone and themes.
It's crazy because, like, I don't know, maybe it's because I know you and I've known you for so long, but looking at the game, like, I can see all those different inspirations. Like some of the dialogues for the characters, I'm like, oh, that's so, like, in the vein, like, you could have written it for Borderlands, like, or, you know, like, I'm looking at it and I was like, that humor right there, I was like, that's totally, like, a Ratchet and Clank, like, style. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's cool that those influences shine through so much in Otherworlds and blend so well together.
I appreciate that because, like, as an artist and like a creator, it's impossible, I think, for anyone to completely separate themselves from what they feel inspired by.
Yeah.
So, you know, I take a lot of like I definitely have very specific things that I love and enjoy in my life that inspire me, and so my work will be influenced by that. But sometimes it's so nuanced and different that you might not even ever notice like what inspired it. So like Guillotine, for example, you would never know by looking at it, but I don't think Guillotine would have existed without an anime called Kakegurui. Have you heard of it?
Is that the gambling one?
Yes.
I haven't watched it, but I know what you're talking
You
about.
should give it a try. I'm not sure if it's up your alley or not, but it's really cool. And one of the coolest things about Kakegurui is not only is there gambling, but each time they gamble, it's a completely different game with a different set of rules.
Yeah.
And so it got me very much in a game designer mode because they have all these different games. And the one that actually inspired Guillotine was this episode in season 2 where they're playing a game. I think it just uses like a deck of like poker cards or whatever they call
Just
it.
like regular playing cards.
And every person, I think, gets a certain amount of cards around the table that are face down, and they get to look at it.
Sorry. You're good.
And as they look at it, they can add up the totals in their mind and figure out where they're at.
Okay.
And then what they do is each person goes around the table and can like almost like blackjack, like have it hit them where they have a card added face down. Thing is, though, is that they cannot look at the card face down.
Ooh.
Yeah. But the thing is you're trying to get closest to, I think, 70 or like 72. And you keep going around the table, and you're like, hit me. And then, but you can only hit once before it goes to like you. So then you'd say hit, and then you'd say hit, and you keep going around the table until everyone dips out. And once everyone dips out, everyone reveals their cards. And if anyone busted, if anyone went over 70 or 72, whatever the threshold was, they're automatically out. And whoever gets the highest towards the 70 without busting is the one that gets to stay in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like an interesting take on that. So that was actually a big inspiration for Guillotine, but of course in Guillotine the number's 13.
Yeah.
There's a lot more interplay in terms of like, since the number's much lower, it needed to play a lot differently than that.
Yeah.
But there's.
I don't know that I even knew that's where that game came from.
Nice.
Yeah, you can't tell, but that's a big inspiration.
I think that's the mark of a good creator. Like to be able to, I mean, obviously they're both playing cards, they're both card games, but to be able to pull from something so
that
just
niche.
Yeah, something so different. Like you pulled an inspiration and created a game based off of an anime. Like I don't know, it's kind of neat that like.
And it sounds like not a very, very popular one, right?
Yeah, it's
not like super popular.
It's weird. So it's one of those it has a fan base.
Okay, sure.
It's not super small, but it's also not very large. It's definitely not your heavy hitters.
Yeah,
right.
It's big enough to where when we go to a convention and we have something that's Kakaguri inspired or we talk about it, there are people that we run into that cosplay from the show or talk to us about it. But
they wear
it's
like the red jackets,
yes.
right? Okay, I want to make sure I've got the right.
And they probably freak out harder when they see you because you're one of them.
Yeah.
It's not just a part of this big. It's like, oh, you're one of. Yeah, I get it. That's cool.
Yeah, and oddly enough, I didn't realize it when I was watching it, but after I finished the show, I love it. I think it's a really fun series to watch. I've met like no guys at conventions that like the show or like know the show.
Oh,
no
really?
guys have watched it. It's been like almost exclusively girls.
Interesting.
Like, a ton of women love that show. Guys, for whatever reason, they just never watch it.
That's so weird.
Yeah. No, I've met one guy that liked it and has watched it, and he loves it. But I was like, you're the only guy I found, and he's like, you're the only guy I found. So I'm trying to spread it out there. So if you're a guy watching this or a girl, then watch.
Give it a try.
Yeah, it's a cool. It's cool because it's not there for the cool story. It's there for the cool character interactions and the style and the music. Like the music's amazing, the animation's amazing. The same company that animated it is called Studio Mappa, and they've done the most recent season of Attack on Titan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they've also did Jujutsu Kaisen, which got Anime of the Year last year.
I was going to say, I've heard that's...
Anime.
Yeah.
They also did Yuri on Ice, which is known for its great animation, which I haven't watched, but it's a lot of like figure skating. So there's a lot of like intense and crazy animation in that. And one of the cool things about the show is it shows like a dichotomy between like how like gambling is like alluring and tries to attract people with how like almost like Las Vegas, like the flashing lights and things look beautiful and stuff. But there's also like a dark undertone and like a real serious and like sinister kind of dark underbelly of that. So it like mirrors off where like someone might like look gorgeous and it's stylized and it's like the music's playing and it's so fun and happy, but then you see like a sinister side to them and stuff. And so like, for example, there's like this pretty girl and she's like, hey, I want to gamble and blah, blah, blah. And then like some things happen in the game, she might lose or whatever. And then she's like, you know what? Like, let's play again, but this time, if you don't mind, like bringing up stakes, you did beat me. You kind of just, wiped the floor with me. But one thing that I have a strange hobby for is I love collecting fingernails. And like she pulls out like a case and opens it, and she's like, "These are all the fingernails I've collected for my victims, and I painted them." And it's just like all these fingernails. She's like, "So how about we gamble now?" Then it's like, "Wait, what?"
That's no.
There's some wild things in that show. So definitely give it a watch.
I've added to my list.
Yeah, so there's Guillotine. But Guillotine has, it's a mixture of that meets like Halloween. Like me and Abby both love Halloween. It's our favorite holiday.
Yeah.
We love monsters and stuff, but funny enough, we don't in particular love like horror stuff or like gory stuff.
Hey.
Halloween.
Yeah,
I feel that.
like spooky, you know, like we like monsters, but not necessarily where it's just like gruesome and
I feel
intro
that.
and stuff. So Guillotine very much reflects that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course we got Spellslingers.
Mm-hmm.
We released Spellslingers X Otherworlds, which is like an Otherworlds standalone expansion of Spellslingers that features Otherworlds characters.
Yep.
Got Heads or Tails, which we debuted on the Game Crafter, which is a fun party game where you're on a dating game show, and someone is the bachelor and everyone else is a random monster with a random personality.
Oh.
And you ask questions and you have to answer them as that monster. So someone could be like a drunk Frankenstein, someone could be a depressed vampire, and it is hilarious.
It's my favorite game to play ever now.
Yeah,
Really?
it's her favorite, and
Yeah.
it's Kristen's favorite too, my sister. So
Oh, okay.
It's and it's weird because it's our least popular game, but only because we released it on the Game Crafter instead of Kickstarter. Not as many people know about it. But we're going to aim for a Kickstarter release for it next year probably.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Just so we'll kind of repackage it. We'll add a few things to it. It'll be the same basic game, but it'll get it out there for a lot more people. We can actually make sure people know about it because it's a ton of fun. Like we actually had a cosplayer. Name's Masha Cosplays. You can check her out. She has a video on it. And she played it with her friends, and they had a wonderful time with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like a nice gateway game. Like if you're not,
it is.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's impossible not to understand the rules. Like I shared it with my grandparents, and they picked up on it and played it like super easily.
to me, that's the mark of a pretty good game.
You feel free to say no, but since we've got an hour and a half to kill, would you want to play one of them? Like we could do Heads or Tails. If you wanted to showcase one of your games here on the podcast.
I'll show a round of Heads or Tails. How about that?
Okay.
Because we end up playing like full on game. I mean, we might can play it a little bit more.
Oh, we could talk and play, and we can just kind of.
I didn't bring all of my games, but I did bring a couple, and luckily I did bring Heads or Tails.
Nice.
Because I did feel like this is one that needed to be shared. This one's pretty simple too. All it needs is the one deck box. You can play with a lot of players just with the one game here.
So I think that's another mark of Vindicated. You do so well with packaging. Like all of your stuff comes in like just one box that you can fit in your pocket. You can take with you. It's very portable, very accessible as far as like if you just want a game that's really fun and you can take wherever. Yeah, I mean you can play it on the plane, flying, from to wherever. Like you could keep it in your pocket. Like I don't know. I think that's pretty neat.
I appreciate that, and a lot of my games are that way, and I'm happy for it because a lot of people have had a lot of kind things to say about that.
Yeah.
I am interested in exploring some new spaces. I want to have a big box game at some point in the future, just so people can see that I'm capable of that as well.
Yeah.
But these are definitely a lot easier to get my foot through the door in the industry, show people what I'm about, things like that. But it's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. It's still very difficult. Yeah. But it is a bit easier.
Is that part of what goes into the game? Like, is that something that you think about when you're going through the steps of game design? Like packaging and well, I mean, if I could fit it in one box that could fit in your pocket, that'd be even better. Like, is that stuff that goes through your head, or is it you just kind of start designing it and then it just kind of ends up being that way, and you're just like, oh, well, that worked out nicely.
That's a great question. With Spellslingers, it was very much that way.
Okay.
Spellslingers was actually made from its components and its mechanics first, and the reason for that is because Otherworlds was my first game. But with it being a tabletop role-playing game, if we were to play that right now, I'd have to walk you through character creation.
Yeah.
We'd have to make our characters. I'd have to explain the game. That in itself could take an hour of just like going through like what the story is going to be about, what our character's going to be about, and then we play a session, which most people want to do an RPG session for around 4 hours.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not an easy game to show people, like this game is. So I was like, Spellslingers needs to basically excel at everything that Otherworlds is weak at. So Otherworlds is great at a lot of things, but what its lower points are is you can't easily just show anyone at any point in time. You can't you can't pack Otherworlds with you, just bring it out onto the table and just play it instantly. And it's not meant to be that. That's not what. I mean, that would be a whole different game. So Spellslingers was very much made like I need to make sure Spellslingers can be made on a limited art budget. That was a very big deal for me. It needs to be able to be fun. It needs to have all fit in one deck box. I didn't want it to have counters or dice or anything extra.
Yeah.
Very specifically, just because I wanted it to be kind of like as simple as possible while still being fun. That was the idea behind Spell
It's crazy, like, because you think of these other games, like with counters and stuff like that, and like there's a lot that can go into it, and like you have to carry all this stuff around, but like it's insane how much I guess depth there is in Spell Slingers, with it being so simplistic as far as its design, and from like a design standpoint, how the mechanics work, like very complex mechanics and such a simple just game like that you can fit in your pocket. And then like you said, the limited art budget, I think that's really awesome, just because from looking at it, like looking at Spell Slingers, looking at the art of it, like, yeah, I mean, if you see, now that you say that, like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see a limited art budget, but it's not something that comes to mind when I look at it. Like, it's even the art that you have on there is designed so well. Like, I don't know, I never would have thought, like,
I appreciate that. And luckily, like, since the game's been out, it's been out for almost 4 years now.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anyone complain about the art or like say that it looked like it had a limited art budget or anything like that.
It fits. It just works really well.
I know the first time you and I, well, not really met, but the first time we got to hang out at an iHeart event, that was one of the first things that we kind of got along with, like, or got along about, was talking about Spell Slingers.
Yeah.
You had a deck with you.
Yep.
And he started showing it to me and telling me about you and everything. So, like, day one that him and I got to hang out, I started hearing about Vincent. So I was like, happy to finally get to meet you.
It's all coming back full circle. It's all we're all connected. That's awesome.
But I agree with you. Like, it seemed simplistic, nice, official, and then you started getting into it, and I was like, whoa, okay, so this isn't just going to be something that I pick up,
and like the combos that you can pop off once you understand, you go, okay, these cards work this way, and then you're just like, this, like it's
and
insane.
You went into all that with me too. Like, if the information he was giving me was in an eyedropper, he fire hosed me with this information, and I'm like, bro, okay.
Yeah.
Like my goal with designing a game in general is, instead of having like a vast ocean that's very shallow, where it's like there's so much you see so much information there, it's hard to take in because it's a vast ocean, and then if you try to dive deeper, you can't because it's shallow. I try to do the opposite. I want like a pond that you can kind of swim and float around the top and have fun in the pond. It can go as deep as you want, and you can explore all the mysteries underneath.
You start swimming around, and you go, it doesn't end. Like, you just keep swimming down, and you're like, oh.
That's the idea. And like when we ran a tournament at NashiCon, we had players play Spell Slingers, and then went head to head, and we saw them do things that was blowing our minds. Like, because we had played the game probably hundreds of times. And we're like, the strategies these players are employing. Like, they each had different play styles. They each had different cards that they would try to center and like hold on to and combo with different cards. And we had never even seen some of the plays.
That's got to be the most satisfying thing ever.
I was going to say, for somebody that is not in it as much as you, that didn't design the game, but somebody that had an appreciation for the game and like watched it kind of come to life, that was probably the most fun part about Spell Slingers that I ever had, is watching new players that have never seen it before, don't know, and they're used to this game or that game, and so they pull like from their own experiences, and they start doing these weird and I was like, oh, I guess that card could work with that. Like, I guess you could do that.
And when things going on, we haven't been able to have like tournaments like that in a while. But I'm looking to bring those back because they were so much fun. I feel like they need to happen, and it was a good time.
The whole pond and ocean thing, that was probably the most poetic thing I'll hear all week. By far. That was I got it though. It's awesome.
And also, I mean, I love the idea of sort of like taking the pieces of the game, which in this case would be the cards, and figuring out how you can lay them on top of each other, almost like card game Legos, to rebuild it the way you want to. That's the way I look at it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very nice. Okay.
That's such a different way to like look at it. I don't know.
That's how I view Spell Slingers. This one's not that way, because this one, it's not like a card game where you're have a hand and you're trying to play strategies and stuff. This one's a lot more improv. It's almost like, whose line is it anyways? I didn't think about it when I made the game.
Even better. I like, okay.
Yeah, I didn't think about that when I made this game, but after like playing and stuff, I'm like, this is kind of what it reminds me of. So, who wants to be the Bachelor? I'm not sure who would make the most sense for it.
So, I've got somebody in mind. Well, it fits because you've never really played a Vindicated game. I have a lot of experience with Vindicated games. He's the creator, like, art.
You were saying Bachelor.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, if the shoe fits, if you know, you know. But
If you know, you know. We'll talk later.
yeah, we'll fill you in.
Here's your monster card.
Okay.
There's yours. Here's mine.
Yes.
All right. For those watching, we will explain the rules, so don't
excited.
fret. I know that you might be a little lost at first, but it'll be a-okay. So your objective is not only to give us a question, but luckily through playtesting this game, I learned that one thing that helps out players is if they have prompt questions. So you can take that card.
Oh, okay.
You can also take that card, and you can also take that card. And you can use any of those prompts that you want. They will give you an idea for certain questions you can ask, or you can ask something that you make up entirely off your head. So.
Okay. Awesome. So is it just up to me at this point?
Yeah, so you'll be asking us a question, and
Okay.
we'll start with Trey since he's clockwise from you. Then we'll go to me, then we'll go to Abby. There's your personality card. Now, the objective of this is you're going to want to try to guess what monster we are. And so here's the catch, though. You're going to act as your monster with your personality.
Okay.
You want to be subtle about what monster you are.
Okay. Okay.
Because at the end of the round, you'll get an opportunity to guess which monsters we all are. If you guess correctly, you'll get a point. If you guess incorrectly, we'll get the point. Now...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now the thing is you could say, well, hey, then what's the incentive for me? Like if I'm a vampire, what's the incentive for me to just not act like a completely different monster so it gets it wrong? Well, if you have a player designated as a judge, which depending on the amount of players you have, since we have 4, we're gonna have it where the player to I gotta try to remember the official rules, but it's like you have basically it'd be the player to my left. So say if I was a vampire. And you asked me like what I like to eat or something, and I said I like to eat rocks, and like that's not something that vampires traditionally like to eat. Well, at the end of the round, if you guess gargoyle because they're made of stone, and I said nope, I was a vampire, then Abby gets to come in as the judge of this, and she says, Vincent, to be fair to Josh, you said that you ate rocks and you're a vampire, and it makes no sense.
Yeah.
So even though Josh was incorrect in his guess, you weren't fair to Josh in trying to give him subtle hints, so Josh still gets the point.
Okay.
So that's how you make that fair. So you have to be nuanced with your answers, and then at the end of all that, you then award 3 points to anyone for whatever reason you want. It's normally whoever you thought was the most entertaining.
Okay.
And so we've actually had players sabotage their monster so they can try to book it on the 3 points, because the 3 points is more.
Yeah.
But it's a risky play.
Yeah.
So like if I was a vampire, I'd be like, blah blah, I'm here to suck your blood. And you're like, I'm probably the vampire. But like if you just thought it was funny, then you'd be like, okay, Vince is gonna get us 3 points. But it's a risky play because no guarantee that Josh is gonna give me those 3 points.
And how many rounds?
So you go until everyone's been the Bachelor once is normally what.
Oh, okay. So quick. Well, potentially quick, like maybe 15 minutes, 20. I mean, it just depends.
So it feels like it will only take that, but usually people end up laughing and just kind of being very relaxed about it, to where it does take a little bit longer in general. It could
like that though.
It could be a quick game, but it's very much like a casual, like you can play it for the whole evening if you want.
See, this is the kind of like not the. It's not that I have anything against like Cards Against Humanity, but I feel like that's always the go-to, and it gets really old. So to have something like this that I could pull out and be like, well, what about something like this? Like it's still that kind of style, that like party game, real casual, laid back and fun, but it's something different. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't even know where this game came from. Like, I think I was just listening to different game shows. I think I was probably watching Kakaguri for that too, and I was just in the headspace for something like this. And like you said, I like Cards Against Humanity is fine, but it's been like 10 years. I don't know how long that game's been out. It's been a while, so let's play some new things. Like one of my funniest moments with this is my card was a ghoul. Yeah. And the judge or the Bachelor at the time did not know anime at all. But everyone else at the table knew anime. Yeah. So when he asked me what my favorite song was, and I just started singing horribly the Tokyo Ghoul opening. It's like teach and tell me how things are supposed to be, and I was just like singing this whole song, and he was so perplexed and lost, and everyone else was just losing it. And at the end of the round, he was like, "I don't know what you were," and I said, "I was a ghoul." And he's like, "Well, how's I supposed to know?" And then the judge was like, "Dude, that's Tokyo Ghoul. I totally get it." Yeah, he still gets the point. Yeah, so like you can still play it smart in a way that even if the judge doesn't get it, as long as or even if the bachelor doesn't get it, as long as the judge does, you're still good.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll start it off. You get to ask the question, and one thing to kind of help with the time and stuff of it too is whatever question you ask will automatically go to all three of us. We'll all answer the same question.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
That was going to be my question. Okay, so first question: what is your favorite YouTube channel?
Ooh. I'm trying to think of a YouTube channel that would fit. I guess I can make up one.
Yeah, that's an interesting take too. It's like nothing says you can't.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think what would fit in line.
Actually, I feel like I just made it harder on myself because that's pretty.
Yeah.
I got an idea from one of these, but that's pretty broad.
I'm trying to think. Check my phone.
Okay. I like that YouTube channel too.
Yeah.
Check my phone.
He's the Bachelor, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, Bachelor.
The Cookie Monster is not an option in the game, by the way.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
I'm trying to think where to go with this. When I sit down for a nice hot bowl of entrails from the enemies that I've vanquished, I tend to pair it with a nice little YouTuber called Battles Through the Ages. Oh, how I wish my sword was a little bit bigger, a little bit longer, so that I could strike down more foes in my thirst for conquest. Okay.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Is it my turn?
Yep.
Sorry, this is oddly. There's a lot of pressure going on here.
I just want to know who he is. Like, now I'm interested. I'm invested.
All right, let's go! Let me tell you what YouTube channel slaps. It's hella lit. It is called The Mischievous Little Pranksters, and it's where it's at, yo. Also, you can check me out on TikTok when I do reactions to that YouTube channel, because it's very fun, and they prank all kinds of people. Yeah! Let's go!
I have no idea.
Okay.
How do I top that?
Hard to follow up.
Yeah.
I like to watch YouTube videos of laser beams burning through various objects. Also, like, I don't know why you would ever consider picking me. Like, you better pick me. Okay?
Ooh.
Okay? Okay?
Okay.
This is important to me, okay?
I didn't think about trash talking the other contestants. Dang it.
You learn all the strategies you play Vindicated.
I see you thinking about considering them, and that makes me upset.
Okay, so take some mental notes and then prepare for your second question. You'll ask us all a second question, we'll go back through it, and then you'll ask us the third question, we'll go back through it, and then the round's over, and then you make your guesses. If you played with a lot of people, you can do a thing where every round you eliminate someone so they would skip the next round of questioning, but it makes it harder for you because you have to try to get who they are that first round and say, like, oh, okay, I think I know who you are, I'm going to like have you sit out this next round, and then have you sit out the next round. That's when you're playing with
Kind of narrowing it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
But with 4 people, you can do it this way where, you have someone who's actually a player also can be the judge.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about the elimination either.
Okay. I'm going to move that a little closer to Abby just so we can get some more of you.
Yeah.
So, it's monsters, right? You guys are monsters.
Here's one thing too. I think I noticed that when I handed you those cards that this is the prototype version of the game, which is almost exactly the same as the final version, but the final version has a list of all the monsters in the game. And this
Oh.
one doesn't. So I feel a little bit bad for you, Josh, because normally we'd have a list on the card that would say every single monster that's in the game.
That would help.
So you
Yeah.
can reference. Now, I will go ahead and let you know that when you think monsters, you probably think of your traditional Halloween monsters.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also things in the game such as like robots, Martians, dinosaurs,
Oh,
orcs,
okay.
goblins, gargoyles. So any type of, it doesn't have to be Halloween specific. Now, a lot of the Halloween monsters are there. Those are the base of the game.
Yeah.
But I need to fill it out because there's like 35 different monsters in the game or something.
Okay.
So it's like,
Okay.
there needed to be a kind of a wide breadth of things. I also made some monsters have some overlapping features. So, for example, like an orc, Bigfoot, and a dinosaur may all be large. 2 of those are green. You know,
Yeah.
They're all like so.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's some overlap for some of them.
I'm assuming yes, but is there room for like, if you got this with your friends and you did a game night together, is there room for homebrewing? Could you throw in your own?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like a chupacabra, you could maybe write on an index card or something. I don't know how you would do it, but yeah, if there was room for.
Yeah, as long as you can find a way to do it. I am thinking of maybe finding a way to print some blank cards.
Oh,
like,
okay.
For like tabletop day, and then give those out to people, so then they could just write on the blank
Nice.
cards.
Yeah, then it would be okay.
Yeah, and you know, especially for this in particular, if you get somewhat close, I'd still count it. You know,
Okay.
Because especially there's some very specific monsters, but
Yeah.
if you're kind of in the ballpark, I think it should still count.
I'm gonna go with a pretty generic question. What's your favorite food?
Well, Bachelor, as I expressed last time, brother,
I felt like I had to throw that in there.
Just to entertain me?
Yeah.
Okay.
feasting on the entrails of my enemies that have fallen in battle. Though I wish my teeth were a little bit bigger, so that I could really gnaw into the bone marrow of the femurs of the fallen.
What was the question again?
What is your favorite food?
My favorite food is pixies. I love them and I love their dust. It's great. It makes me go yeet.
Okay.
I don't need food. I'm too good for that. Also, I saw the way that you were looking at him. Do I need to check your phone? Look at your text messages? Are you talking to him behind my back? How could you? I'm wounded.
Okay, you threw me with that last little bit. I thought I was onto something, but not anymore.
They've both thrown me. I'm trying to keep up just like, oh, if I were the Bachelor, nah.
Well, luckily, you get a third question.
Okay. I like this one. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Will the tides of war set for no man or monsters? So whenever the call of battle fuels my rage, it just depends. It just depends. That's all.
Moving on.
As for me, I get hella tired once the sun sets. So I try to get in my little cave and just get with my homies, and we bundle up together and hope no slayers come and slay us.
Okay. Oh, God.
I have energy all the time, 24/7. I'm running. Just doesn't matter what time of day it is.
All right.
All right, make your guesses.
Okay. Just get one guess?
One guess per person.
Okay. I mean, by the second one, you kind of narrowed it down for me with...
Did I? You think you got me, Bachelor?
Now that, like, the first... Like, yeah, Cookie Monster was my first thought. but after the second... After you started answering for the second time, you've got to be like some battle orc or something.
I was thinking at work. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That would be correct.
Oh, Trey's the see?
Nice.
Yeah, you feel lost, but then when you make the guess, it's like, oh, I was actually right.
Yeah.
Right.
It was very good.
The second one, I feel like it all started coming together.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have like the pixies, the squeaky voice, goblin.
I'm a goblin. There you go.
Sweet.
I was a goblin using modern slang.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was trying to do. I don't actually know modern slang that well, so.
I was self-conscious about the type of monster you are.
Do what?
I was an orc that was self-conscious about being an orc.
Oh, so that's what you have to follow. Oh, okay. I was
The
like,
bigger sword, the teeth.
the bigger teeth. I was like, he's an orc, but like, what?
Really self-conscious.
So all I have to do, I don't get any extra points if I'm like,
Don't
you're an
worry about
orc.
the personality, because the personality, we want to encourage us to lean into it.
Okay.
So we don't want to have to hold back our role playing for it. So I didn't want there to be a point incentive one way or the other. For it.
Okay.
Nice. It's
But the point incentive could be that you will give 3 points to whoever you found was funnier, which is normally whoever leans into their personality more.
using that
Okay.
personality trait. Got it. That's
I like that. The
I feel like
slang, the
that-
modern slang. That was nice.
that touch made it to me makes the game like so
Agreed,
far.
yeah.
That's what I'm feeling.
Talking about the touch of the having the personality cards, or the touch of awarding 3 points to whoever you
The
performance
person,
does.
the personality,
Yeah.
just that, so that you've got something to go on. Like
Yeah.
if I've got a little bit of direction, like I can give me a blank canvas, I'll probably be okay. But a little direction, and it's like, oh, I can
That's so
sink my
true.
teeth
And I
into
found
it.
that out as a game designer too. And
Yeah.
And one thing that I love doing as a game designer that people will start being able to pick up on in my games, especially since I'm bringing it up. And I'm happy that you brought this up because I forget to ever tell anyone this. But I love the idea of mixing and matching. And the idea of that is when you have, we have like say 35 monster cards. I can't remember how many is in the deck actually. Like so some amount of monster cards. We could just play it and we had like, okay, you're the orc this time, I'm the orc this time, she's the orc. And we'd all play it a little differently, which is cool, and it adds some variance.
Yeah.
But how much more variance do you have when you add one of these 35 personalities on top of the orc?
That's what I was gonna say.
It goes from 35 different options to thousands.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's exponential at that point. And so you're not always, but 9 times out of 10, everybody's going to play that orc differently based on the personality that they get, which I can also dive into a little bit later on. It kind of lends itself to other worlds, and a lot of your games in a way kind of have that. I'm glad you did bring that up, that mix and match. But yeah. Anyway, sorry, Curtis. Oh, we should have had him. Curtis could have played something. He'll be the next Bachelor.
Yeah.
He's a ghost.
Okay, so definitely vampire.
No.
I think she's a robot or something because she mentioned lasers, which vampires don't traditionally use lasers, and she also said something about
like energy or something.
can always go, which like a robot. I mean,
my first thought was Energizer Bunny. Like I was like, oh, she's a rabbit, like some kind of rabbit.
So I was thinking like manipulation at first, vampires, mind tricks.
Yeah.
I think her personality trait's jealousy. Like she's a jealous robot.
I'm a jealous robot.
Okay.
Exactly right.
That was the tough. You had me. I was kind of going goblin, and I was like, I don't know. But then when you're talking about in the caves, I was like, oh, okay. And you're like, I hope there's no slayers, and I was like, gotcha.
Now here's the thing. Since you got hers wrong, it's up to Trey to decide if you feel like Abby played the part of a jealous robot well enough.
The jealousy part, yes. Now I agree with you with the lasers and the energy. Just because I didn't pick up on it doesn't mean that it wasn't like your fault that you didn't do it well. In my opinion, it was just
So the laser I thought was just her talking about her favorite YouTube channel. Like that's where I thought we were going with that.
I was thinking, I was like, it has to do something with I was like, she's giving you a hint with the laser, and I just couldn't pick up on it. Like it just was me. I didn't even think about robots being in the game.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh, that
doesn't eat food.
Yeah, that was another one. I was like, who doesn't?
I was
eat
like,
food?
okay, drinks blood, and like,
oh, I didn't.
the more I thought about vampire, the more you just kept reinforcing that idea. But I could totally
see how you would though with those. But no, I think it was fine. Like,
no, I won't even
for me being a
challenge it.
judge,
Like knowing that it's robot, absolutely.
All right, cool.
yeah.
Yay.
So now you get to award 3 points to whoever you want.
It was gonna be a gosh.
There's no hard
It's okay. I'm only your co-host. You have to deal with me every week, so you can award it to the guest.
The way you went with the self-consciousness, everything, it like, what was it you said at the end of question 2? At the end of your answer, you were like, It was just up for interpretation.
Oh,
it was like sometimes.
I do have to give props to Trey, because not only did he do a good job, but he also had never played before.
Yeah.
And you started off the round, so you didn't. Even
I guess I did.
You didn't even have me to like lead by example. Like you just.
I feel like we've played enough games that like you kind of just, I don't know, you go with the flow and just figure it out.
Yeah. I'll have to say, you pick up the 3 points. Honorable mentions for the yeeting and the broing, and then for I thought you were a vampire.
So I was
and
like,
how calm you were made me so uncomfortable. So you played your part well,
right? Like,
to be emotionless.
I'll kill you.
Well.
You like them? I'll kill you.
It works, you know. It still works. It's funny how it works for the vampire and the robot.
Yeah.
They're both very different.
That was fun.
Nice.
So honorable mentions. Absolutely.
If you want, we can pass it to Trey. We can do another round.
Okay. What do you want to do with what is general cleanup? Okay.
So just all thrown somewhere.
So I guess you can just keep playing until you're like, if you didn't want to stop after 4, everybody goes, like you could just kind of keep going and like, I guess reshuffle the discard pile once you get through everything.
Yeah, and just go until you want to stop.
I like I don't see a whole lot of games with this, but like I love the idea of like dual decks like that. Like with the red and black, and then the white and purple, they kind of complement each other, but the 2 different decks.
Yeah, well, okay, so that's a good point. I want to make this clear on people for people watching. The backs of both of these are different colors, you know, the white and black. And I feel like not enough games do different card backs for the same game. It annoys the heck out of me because they'll have it where you're supposed to keep the deck separate the entire time.
But you don't know.
But they keep the same card back for everything. And you're like looking at the fronts of the cards, like trying to figure out where to put things.
Oh, and honorable mention, just so that we can talk about this, because it popped up in my head while you were talking about the colors. Is this a colorblind friendly game?
Yeah. Well, for one, too, colorblind, and Trey's bringing this up partially because I'm colorblind.
Yep.
So if the first time I colored his character, actually, I actually colored him green instead of like a beigey yellow like I meant to. I colored him lime green. I was like, Kristen, why didn't you tell me this? And she's like, I thought he was meant to be lime green.
I like that. It looks fine, but
I was like,
I know that a lot of your design, like Spellslingers, for instance, is designed with colorblindness in mind. So that it's a blue card, but the symbol, it's a big symbol that you can't mistake it.
Exactly. The symbols are very distinct and unique, so even if you can't tell the colors apart, the symbols will definitely help differentiate it. And with this game, having the bright red with the black and then the purple and the white, that's super, like...
You can't mix up black and white.
Yeah.
Even if you saw just in black and white, you'd be able to tell the difference.
Yeah. So I think that's a cool... it's a cool perk that you wouldn't notice it looking at it. You'd just be like, oh, okay, that was a cool design choice. But I'm sure... knowing that you have color blindness, there's an intention there when you design, and the colors that you choose and the way that you make your games, there's an intention there that it's accessible to pretty much everybody.
Spoiler, I can tell if someone makes a board game and it's not colorblind friendly. I played a game and like I could barely even play it, and I was just like, it was rough, but it's rough, buddy. So, Trey, you're the bachelor of this round. You get to ask us all questions, and I'll start us off.
Can I share with you guys? Can I share my personality trait?
If you want to, and I'm very casual when it comes to.
I was going to ask that.
If you want to put your personality, like if you didn't like it and you're like, hey, can I ditch this and get a new one? You can do that.
If you think I should be able to play off of it, I'm up for the challenge. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. So that one, that one didn't make the final cut.
I was actually going to ask you, but I didn't want to offend you.
Okay, yeah, no, I guess that could have been. I guess I could have felt bad if that actually did make the final cut. But I think that's the only card that didn't make the final cut out of all these cards.
Of course, I get it.
So how about this? Since it's not in the final game anyways, let's just put down the bottom because those watching that are interested in this game.
Yeah. They'll never know.
But. Well, we'll tell them.
Yeah.
The personality is called Ducky, and I thought it was funny because I wanted people to be puzzled and be like, I don't even know what to do with this.
I was gonna just have some just quack. I was gonna do my shtick and then go whack.
You should have kept it.
I thought it's the one card that's meant to be there to puzzle players, and all the personalities have flavor text, and on the bottom it says, "What the heck is Ducky supposed to even mean?" That's what it says because it's meant to be like, "What is this?"
Or like you have like the what? Oh man, what is
But don't feel bad, because what you felt is how most people felt, and that's why I took it out of the game.
Like the Moogles?
So what you felt is like shared among a lot of people.
You know how the Moogles, they do, kaboom? like that, it would just be like, but you would be like, whack.
Right.
Or like, I forget the character, but it's in World of Final Fantasy, and she's like, it throws the in there, like, I can't even do it justice, but like, it'd be like, the what the heck was that? Like, it'll just throw the in front of like a random word, and so yeah, like, whack, what the. I don't know.
Well, yeah. What inspired it was there's a card in there that says your personality trait is goofy, and so some people default into sounding like Goofy. Yeah. So they start doing that.
That was what I did.
And then I was like, oh well, then I could just add one that's Ducky, just as like a dumb reference sort of thing. But there we go. I gave you another personality card, right?
You did.
Okay, cool.
I wish I'd have kept Ducky.
All right, contestant number 1. Welcome to the show. If you created a holiday, contestant number 1, what would it be about?
Well, if I created a holiday, it would be something for cute bachelors such as yourself. It would be a magical night where we could do some rituals underneath the pale moonlight.
Well, contestant number 1, that sounds lovely. Contestant number 2?
For my holiday, I think we should all like paint ourselves really bright colors, and then like everyone could really just see us, even if they normally would just look right past you. You know.
Well, it's okay, contestant number 2. You smell lovely. I can smell you from here. Contestant number 3.
That would be me you're smelling, my dear.
Oh.
Yes.
It's quite a...
And me.
Well, I knew that one, contestant number 1, but I was not going to bring it up.
I was, if you didn't. So, my holiday would be very snowy. It would be ice. As far as the eye could see. And if people didn't like it, then they could just let it go. Let it go. Uh-huh. Because maybe truth is like the sun. You can shut it out for a time, but it ain't going away.
Contestant number 3, I'm going to need you to chill a little bit. You get me all hot and bothered up in here.
Sorry.
I think you got my favorite personality.
All right, second round of questions.
This is hard.
I think I got everyone, but I'm also the trader, so
yeah.
I have an advantage.
Contestant number 1.
Yes.
If you had to be an animal, any animal, which animal would you choose and why?
It would be a cat, because they are the mightiest of animals of all.
You're the one that has me the most stumped right now.
That
Yeah,
that last little giggle made me wonder.
What a perfect answer. Contestant number 1. Contestant number 2.
I'm really feline in this.
Well, I think I would be an elephant. I'd be right there, just standing out from the crowd. So easy to pick out. It'd be awesome.
Well, contestant number 2, you're standing out to me, and that's all that matters.
Thanks.
Contestant number 3.
I'd be a polar bear. Because baby, they're ice cold.
I think I like this better than Ducky. That's all I would have gotten is polar bear. Whack.
That's right, because I ain't a duck. I just ain't. But if you'd like to shake your tail feathers, then by all means, handsome young man, you do so.
Oh, you hound dog, you.
Polar bear.
Sorry, wolf.
That was cold.
Snarf. Contestant number 1. What is your dream job?
My dream job is to cook. I love inviting little kids into my cabins and having a very, very nice meal. But I don't ever share my ingredients because we don't do that. Nope, no siree.
Well, contestant number 1, that didn't help better than any of the other 2 questions that I asked, and I feel like it should have. Contestant number 2.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
What would be your dream job?
My dream job. I would love to star on Broadway. You know, they give you those super like sparkly leotards. You're just so visible. Just imagine. Does anyone have any spare deodorant?
Well, contestant number 2, I'll ask if any of the people can bring you a little bit of spare deodorant. We'll get this fine gentleman to bring you some. Meanwhile, you are dazzling, contestant number 2, and don't ever think anything less. Contestant number 3, what would be your dream job?
I would be the CEO of the biggest, bestest ice cream company this world has ever seen. That's what it would be. With the wave of my microphone, everyone would feast on my cold popsicles.
Contestant number 3, I can't wait to get a taste of that soft serve.
But they would not. But they would not melt in your mouth unless you wanted them to. Baby.
Ice cream, you just put it in your mouth.
It's like that JoJo scene with the cherries just on the lollipop, the ice
My
pop.
favorite flavor is bluesberry.
Okay.
I prefer boozeberry.
I don't know what you are. I want to say some kind of you started I thought it seemed like you were leading down like a Hansel and Gretel, so I was thinking some kind of witch when you're talking about brewing potions and no ingredients that thinks they're a cat or something. There's got to be something. Are you a cat witch?
Is that your final answer? Cat witch.
Yes.
Okay, I'm a witch. I think you still deserve the points. I say cat because I feel like normally with cats you see or with a witch you see a black cat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just cat because you said animal, and so I
Yeah.
had to bring some sort of animal to it. So I was thinking
Okay.
the closest familiar to a witch is normally a cat.
Okay.
Makes sense.
I didn't know if you were stuck as a cat, that was your person, because I could see like Soul Eater, she transforms into, then they a lot of times your witches, if they have some weird if they transform like that, they have something they have a weird they'll be like meow, they'll add something like that to it. So I was maybe
my personality trait I didn't do well on because it was heroic, which is very hard to do. When I was trying to make references to Hansel and Gretel, it's there's no way that witch was
gosh, yeah, she was, yeah.
So I tried, especially with the first answer I gave, which I don't remember, but I think I hinted more at the heroism there. But
okay.
As it went on, especially that last
cat
question.
Is the mightiest.
I did say the cat is the mightiest.
Yeah.
So I was
Okay.
trying to throw that at, but
yeah, that's a hard one to kind of.
yeah.
I could see that.
But definitely trying to nail I think all 3 of the answers I gave did point at witches.
Oh yeah. Now looking and I kind of started going that way, but it was more so that I guess the cat kind of threw me off. I was like, is it a cat that their personality is a witch? I wasn't sure there. For you, I'm gonna guess that an invisible person that is very self-conscious of their hygiene, their
Yes.
body odor.
Yeah, invisible man worried that you smell bad.
Yeah, that was good. I like that. Like, I like that you hinted at not being seen, but I don't know. It was
very creative answers.
Yeah, it was very obviously like an invisible man, but also like it could be you could be a pixie, you could be tiny, because your stuff usually when you were like, oh, like it seemed larger than life. Like,
And
I could
also
almost
too, like, even if you had a card where Invisible Man was an option, if you had never really heard of Invisible Man or weren't really thinking about it that much, I could see someone missing those context clues.
Yeah, and especially like me going off of I think that's one of the difficult parts here is I don't know all the monsters, so I'm sitting here going, I wonder if Vincent thought of the Invisible Man. Like, you're very much portraying the Invisible Man, but what if it is something like a pixie, or something like that?
I'm gonna feel like I'm cheating if I play again and have the monster list
the
in front of
monster.
me.
Well, it depends on how well whoever it is that, like, you guys have done a really good job portraying it. I know it's something to do with ice. I'm trying to think, like, are you a Yeti? Like, I'm trying to think of ice monsters. Like, everything revolved around ice and cold.
Yeah.
They're like the abominable snowman or something like that.
I was hoping my voice would give off kind of a...
Well, I mean, you definitely sounded like Elvis.
Well, there was that thrown in there at times.
Your voice. See, I didn't pick up anything. I wasn't thinking like your the tone of your voice or anything like that. Like, I was like, oh, ice. I was like, okay, ice, cold, polar bear. Like, everything's revolving around. Like, I just got stuck up on or caught up on
too far. I didn't want to press too far into like a feminine voice because she's a ruler. So it was a snow queen.
Oh, let it go, let it. See, I just thought that was like a reference, like it's ice dummy, and I was like, oh, okay. Snow
I was
queen.
like ruler, like flirty, all that. I was very confident with myself, but it wasn't a very feminine voice. I was trying not to. But
Snow King, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. Yes, I was a Snow Queen but also a Elvis impersonator.
That's so funny. That's a good combination. I like that.
You did great on that.
Thank you.
I think he deserves the points on this one.
Yeah.
Even though there might be a co-host conspiracy. Not kidding.
I don't know, man. That you were getting me with the microphone. Yeah, like, that was
great.
good.
That was the best Elvis impersonating I've seen in the game.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, you might have a career in it. Like, who knows?
I might have a career in entertaining.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe next Saturday I should just get half naked and go in front of a crowd.
Hey, well, whatever floats your goat.
Yeah.
That's Elvis.
Yeah.
As a Snow Queen of Elvis.
Right.
So that was awesome.
That was a blast.
Yeah.
So that was heads or tails, and I mean, we could like it's fun enough to where I'm sure like we weren't doing the podcast.
Oh yeah, no.
That
Trust me, I thought about it.
Fun, yeah. But yeah, that's the game.
What's up, guys? I'm Trey.
I'm Josh.
And we're going to go ahead and do the Amazon gift card giveaway segment really quick. So this week we had 3 entrants. Technically 4, but I excluded Liz since she won, I believe, 2 weeks ago. So we've got Doomer, we've got Morel Zach, and we've got Jesus. So I'm going to swap over to our random number generator over here, if I can find it and pull it up. And we need 1 through 3, so I'm going to go ahead and step over to the camera and hit generate.
Liz, hope you spent that money well.
A little blurry on the camera. I couldn't get it to focus. But that number is 3, which corresponds with Jesus. So, Jesus, congratulations. You are this week's Amazon gift card winner. Hooray! I need to throw in a little, like,
Yeah.
track. Anyways, that's going to do it for this. So, back to us. It's just... I don't know. It's such a good take on like that party game genre. I love the open-endedness of it, like being able to just you have guidelines, but you can kind of craft your own personality. And it's one of those like I could get like if you're kind of shy or you're a little nervous, like having a hard time leaning into it and getting into like that personality, like the Elvis or the orc or both of your characters of the witch and the goblin, like, and then Abby with the robot and the invisible woman. I almost said man. So like I don't know, like I could see how it would be a little hesitant, like, but it's one of those games once you get into it and you can kind of like let that melt away and just get into the game. It's so much fun.
And it's cool. It's one of the only card games I've seen. It's the only one that comes to mind that actually actively encourages role playing, like on a big level.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
Yes.
it's like when I think of role playing, you think of tabletop role playing games, but
Yeah.
you don't think of a card game.
Well, I love that it encourages role playing, but you're not penalized if you don't role play.
That's also true.
Which I think is just as important.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
There's no penalty for not role playing.
No.
Just talk.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you're in a house full of people and you put this on the table and say, all right, this is what it is,
Yeah.
you're going to weed out possibly 2 or 3 people that aren't even going to attempt it.
Yeah.
And then the ones who go, okay, it's like they want to come out of their shell.
But they're a little nervous. Maybe this is the gateway to do that.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's almost darn near
It's a
inspirational.
great
in that
party
way.
starter. I would say it's a great just like
icebreaker.
like an icebreaker. Yeah, like I mean,
All right, you're not the ice queen anymore. You can quit playing the game. You don't have to keep playing it.
it just
It's just so darn good.
Stuck in suspension.
what a method actor.
You just like text me like a week from now. It's like he will not stop.
He won't
Why did we
quit.
play this?
It's embedded into his brain.
He's got an ice scepter he ordered on Amazon. What have you done?
But yeah, like I said, this game is a ton of fun, and it's a personal travesty that it's not near as popular as the other games I've made. because
Agreed.
It is so fun. That's why we're going to be bringing it to Kickstarter though, and it will be just
Awesome.
popular. And also, when anime conventions start going again, we had the idea we're going to do a panel.
Oh,
We're gonna have it
yes.
where we invite people from the audience to play, and then we have the audience watch.
I was going to bring up you need to take this to a convention. I was thinking like a game room, like I could see
That
it
was
drawing
my
a
initial
crowd,
thought.
but a panel would be even better.
Yeah, I agree, because then we can just do it in front of an entire audience.
Well, and the audience would get into it. Like
There's no way they're not leaving without picking up a game.
Yeah,
I mean,
Well, that's the hope.
yeah,
yeah.
And also, we've actually played this on our stream, where we had the stream itself be the Bachelor asking questions.
that's
and then
nice.
they all try to guess, and whatever the majority guesses is like what the actual guess is, and just everyone sitting on the stream is just doing the role playing and stuff.
That's
Now,
awesome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the chat is the Bachelor.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
we
nice.
Play it every round with the chat is just constantly the Bachelor.
That's fun.
You get new monsters every time.
Now, if anybody's listening or is watching and wants to tune in and play maybe Heads or Tails as the Bachelor on your stream, where can they find you?
Be VindicateEntertainment.com or Twitch.com/VindicateEntertainment.
Twitch.tv.
Well, it goes either way. It works either way.
I was gonna say it'll resolve. Yeah, but it is technically Twitch.tv, which always gets me.
Yeah, but if you put .com / it still
Yeah,
works.
it'll still resolve.
I keep it uniform all the way throughout. But yeah, .tv / Entertainment also works.
And we'll link
people
these
also-
in the description too.
Yeah, and appreciate that.
I just figured it was a good segue. We're not done. I'm not done. I just
I'm
wanted
not
to.
done either.
Okay.
And we also have these fancy cards too that we didn't use. But we have one for the Bachelor, one for the host, so you can swap it around. You can also, if you have a player that wants to play as the host, where he's like, "Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Heads." I don't even know why I didn't think to bring this up beforehand.
That's awesome.
You can have someone kind of be more of like the guy like hosting the game and playing that part of it if you want.
Very cool.
I thought
Very
about
nice
that, and
touch.
it's awesome that you thought that through enough to actually create a card to fit that role.
Thank you.
That's kind of what I tried to do with my Bachelor, is kind of like / host, because you always have like, well, Bachelor number 1, like, I don't know.
Yeah, and people can get the game already. It's on the Game Crafter. We can have a link drop below for that.
Yeah.
Or you can get it on the website, VindicateEntertainment.com /shop.
Yep.
Beautiful.
All right, guys, that's gonna do it for part 1 of episode 5. What are you doing?
That young man Vincent has such a bright future. I had to wear my tanning bed goggles.
So that is going to do it for this week's episode. Check back in just a few days, and we should have part 2 uploaded. You guys can go ahead and check that out if you're watching this, I don't know, at a future date. It should already be dropped. So,
Right.
yeah, I guess that does it. I guess we'll do it like a regular outro. So you do your thingy, and I'll do my thingy.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
until
I don't know. I don't know what you say.
I've been the Scottish Hush Puppy, and I got some food to go eat.
And until then, my ghastly gang, stay spooky.
Create shit. Build anything. Make it real.
I've been getting dirty money, Jordan Bell third. Stacking penny stocks while I'm flipping these birds. Sipping on Ciroc, trip 'em up.